Hi, I'm Enchanting Nubianette. Welcome back. And to all of my new viewers, welcome. This is a very tragic case and very bizarre in how it happened and where this tragedy happened. Now, this tragic incident happened during a funeral in Richmond, Virginia, when an uncle was fatally unalived while attending his nephew's burial ceremony. Now, this event took place yesterday at the Oakwood Cemetery, and according to reporters, there was a fight that escalated into a person who had a weapon. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit more background information because there's not a lot of details online. The unknown male victim, he had an argument with someone at his nephew's funeral around 2:40 p.m. And when he was injured by the weapon, he was taken to the hospital, and that's where he passed, unfortunately. Now, both men were members of the Mongols Motorcycle Club. Since I didn't have any prior knowledge, I have never heard or am not familiar with motorcycle clubs. I looked online and learned that the Mongols Motorcycle Club, also known as a Mongol Brotherhood or Mongol Nation, is an international outlaw motorcycle club. The group is originally from Montebello, California, and it originated in 1969, decades ago, and the club is headquartered in Southern California. The Mongols are one of the largest motorcycle gangs in the U.S., with approximately 800 to 850 members, and there are 70 chapters in 19 states. Now, the club is primarily based on the West Coast, as I mentioned before, and also in the Southwest. And the majority of its membership consists of Latino men from the Los Angeles area. Now, going back to the story, to the tragedy, additional men have been arrested in connection to a bar brawl that happened before. But I'm not sure what the disagreement was about. But as we know, it did escalate so much that it caused this fatality. Now, the sheriff reported that the suspect fired the weapon amongst the crowd of people. So this person did not care that other people can get injured. They did not care to be seen by various witnesses either. Miraculously, so far it's known that only one person transitioned, which was the uncle. Now, as we know, this reckless action could have been immensely a lot worse. Now, according to the Richmond police chief, Rick Edwards, he described the scene as unprecedented. So he did mention that the crime did take place when everyone was around and there was a casket that was present. I'll tell you a little bit more later on. So everyone, as we know, I don't want to imagine ever going to an event, especially a family event, where I could be or other people can be in this type of danger. You would think there would be more respect, even if this person wasn't a relative. Crimes are increasing every and anywhere, everyone. This tragedy is an extreme low. For this man to attend his nephew's funeral service and then becoming a victim. So that's a new tragedy for this family to deal with. Everyone, this family is already in mourning. Now they need to make additional preparations for another relative's sudden and senseless loss. And some relatives shared in quotes. His casket, talking about the nephew, His casket was not even in the ground yet when weapon fire erupted because of a disagreement between some family members. And I'm not sure if the other person was a family member or not. End of quotes. This is such disrespect to the family and danger for all funeral attendees. Currently, everyone, major crime detectives are looking for shell casings. There were at least 20 evidence play cards on the ground around 6 p.m. yesterday. This is such a heartbreaking event, and it once again tells us the danger of civilians having weapons. And that's the reason why these type of violence or these type of incidences are increasing every single week. It's consistent throughout so many different communities all around the US. So what are your thoughts about this tragedy? Please drop a line in the comments. And also, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks a million, and stay safe wherever you are.
Of course, emotions run high when families grieve, but as near a quarter of a century reporting, I have never seen anyone interrupt a graveside service with gunfire and murder.
When you have a crowd and gunfire is being rained down upon people, we're just lucky that more people haven't showed up at the hospital with wounds.
The amount of gunfire at a graveside service Wednesday afternoon at Oakwood Cemetery in Richmond's East End caused chaos in the crowd.
Everybody got out of their cars and we was praying and stuff. They didn't even get a chance to put my brother in the ground, but it was an argument going on.
An argument that ended with more than a dozen rounds fired. Family members say the deceased man's uncle hit multiple times by bullets. He was rushed to VCU Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead.
For real, I don't even deal with my mom's side of the family like that. Only my dad's side, because this is what they do.
The feds, forensics and major crimes detectives collecting evidence and interviewing survivors.
We've had incidents, homicides at hospitals. We've had them, unfortunately, at schools, and obviously 2 years ago at a graduation ceremony, but never that I can remember. I've been here 26 years. I've never seen a crime scene while there's still the casket of a body that can't be buried until this crime scene's finished. So it's a new low.
A low that loved ones of a man being buried are living, staring in shock and disbelief as they get ready to grieve their latest loss.
Fights at funerals or at burials are not that unusual. It's an emotional time for many folks. What's unusual is people settle those fights with gunfire.
You can't feel safe at a funeral. That's ridiculous. It is. Bad enough you can't go to bars, restaurant, because you have to think about what's going to happen. And then to come to a funeral, it's messed up.
Janine and Julie asked for the shooter. We don't have much information about him, only that a family member tells us he was family attending the service. Police are working leads and asking the community for help.